Hi and welcome to my channel. So in today's video we are going to learn how to say I have and I don't have in Finnish. So we are going to start our first chapter with the basic forms, for example I have, you have and how to negate it. Then in the second and third chapter we are also going to learn how to form some Minulla on and Minulla ei-ole sentences. Later on we will see how to ask questions like do you have or don't you have, and then in the fifth chapter we are getting to know 5 important exceptions, followed by the end of this video where we are going to take a quick look on how to say that things have something. So we will see here a difference between the animated versus the unanimated. So let's start with the basic forms. I have in Finnish is minulla on. You have is sinulla on. He or she has is hänellä on. We have is meillä on. You have is teillä on. And they have is heillä on. Now let's see how it works for negative sentences. I don't have is minulla ei ole. You don't have is sinulla ei ole. He or she doesn't have is hänellä ei ole. We don't have is meillä ei ole. You don't have is teillä ei ole. And they don't have is heillä ei ole. So what we see here is that the positive sentence follows the la or le plus on structure, and the negative sentence follows the la or le plus ei ole plus partitive structure. The object here in the negative sentence has to be put in the partitive case. We're going to learn more about that later. Now let's form a very easy sentence. I have a cat. Cat in Finnish is kissa. So I have a cat is minulla on kissa. You have a cat is sinulla on kissa. He or she has a cat is hänellä on kissa. We have a cat is meillä on kissa. You have a cat is teillä on kissa. And they have a cat is heillä on kissa. Now let's form a negative sentence out of it. I don't have a cat is minulla ei ole kissa. You don't have a cat is sinulla ei ole kissa. He or she doesn't have a cat is hänellä ei ole kissa. We don't have a cat is meillä ei ole kissa. You don't have a cat is teillä ei ole kissa. And they don't have a cat is heillä ei ole kissa. So what we see here is that in a positive sentence, the on, and in the negative sentence, the ei ole always stay the same. Let's move on to our second chapter, forming some minulla on sentences. Here is our first example. Hänellä on uusi talo. Means he or she has a new house. So hänellä on is he or she has, uusi is new, and talo is house. Hänellä on uusi talo means he or she has a new house. Minulla on kaksi koiraa. I have 2 dogs. Minulla on means I have, kaksi is 2, the number 2, and koiraa is dogs. Here it's standing in the partitive case because we are talking about 2 dogs. So remember, after numbers we use the partitive case. Now let's repeat. Minulla on kaksi koiraa. I have 2 dogs. Vanhalla opettajalla on kissa. Means the old teacher has a cat. So opettaja means teacher. Opettajalla on means the teacher has. And vanhalla opettajalla on means the old teacher has. Vanhalla is a combination of the word vanha, which means old, plus the suffix la, and kissa means cat. So let's repeat. Vanhalla opettajalla on kissa means the old teacher has a cat. Alright, now we are already at the third chapter, how to form minulla ei ole sentences. Minulla ei ole sanakirjaa means I don't have a dictionary. Minulla ei ole means I don't have, and sanakirja means dictionary, and it's written here in the partitive case because it's a negative sentence. So let's repeat. Minulla ei ole sanakirjaa. I don't have a dictionary. Meillä ei ole isoa koiraa means we don't have a big dog. Meillä ei ole means we don't have, and isoa koiraa means big dog, and it's written here in the partitive case because it's a negative sentence. Iso means big and refers to the dog. That's why we also write it in the partitive case. So let's repeat. Meillä ei ole isoa koiraa. We don't have a big dog. Pekalla ja Liisalla ei ole aikaa means Pekka and Lisa don't have time. So Pekalla ja Liisalla ei ole means Pekka and Lisa don't have, and aika is time. As a short notice, here it's a negative sentence, so we always write the object in the partitive case. But generally, even if we would make a positive sentence out of it, we would still write aika in the partitive case because time is something we can't count. And things we can count are written in the partitive case, just to let you know. So the name Pekka is written in its basic form with 2 Ks, but because of the suffix la, we go through a consonant gradation, and that means that the double K of the name Pekka changes to 1 K. Alright, let's repeat. Pekalla ja Liisalla ei ole aikaa. Pekka and Lisa don't have time. Alright, now we move on to our next chapter, how to form questions. Onko sinulla kamera mukana? Means, do you have a camera with you? So today we already learned sinulla on means do you have, but when we want to form a question out of it, the word positions do change. So that's why we put the on to the first position in a question followed by the question marker ko. So that's why we say onko sinulla kamera mukana. Mukana means something like to have with or to have with you. So let's repeat. Onko sinulla kamera mukana? Do you have a camera with you? Alright, next one is onko sinulla leipää kotona? Means do you have bread at home? So onko sinulla means do you have? Leipää is bread, and here it's in a partitive case because we are not talking about a specific amount of bread. And kotona means at home. Onko sinulla leipää kotona? Do you have bread at home? And our last question, eikö sinulla ole koiraa? Means don't you have a dog? So remember, we learned sinulla ei ole means you don't have. And today we also learned that in a question we have a changing of positions. So here we have eikö sinulla ole koira? Don't you have a dog? And because we have here a negative question, we put the a to the first place in the question. So that's why we start with eikö sinulla ole koira? Kö, we learned before already, is a question marker. And then we just keep going with koira, which means dog, and it's standing here in the partitive case because it's a negative question. Great! So now let's learn about the 5 exceptions. Minulla on kuuma means I'm hot. Now we want to negate it. Minulla ei ole kuuma means I'm not hot. So what's the important thing here? We learned that in a negative sentence we always have to use the partitive case. But here, and that's why it's called an exception, this rule doesn't apply. So the word kuuma stays the same. Minulla on kuuma, minulla ei ole kuuma. Next one, minulla on kylmä means I'm cold, and minulla ei ole kylmä means I'm not cold. Minulla on kiire, I'm busy. Minulla ei ole kiire, I'm not busy. Minulla on nälkä means I'm hungry, and minulla ei ole nälkä means I'm not hungry. And our last one, minulla on jano means I'm thirsty. Minulla ei ole jano means I'm not thirsty. That's all we need to know here. So when we want to form the negative sentence of these 5 examples, then we don't use the partitive case here. It just stays the same. Now we are already at our last topic for today, the animated versus the unanimated. So the main question here is, how do I say that things have something? So the golden rule is living things, for example, people or animals, do get the la or le plus on structure. And the non-living things, so things that aren't alive, for example, buildings, follow the inessive structure. Let's take one example. When we want to say the school has an elevator, then in Finnish you say koulussa on hissi. The school has an elevator. All right, and that's it. So let's recap quickly what we've learned today. We started with Minulla on and Minulla ei forms. Then we learned how to form positive sentences and negative sentences. Later on, we also learned how to form questions. We also got to know the 5 exceptions. And at the end, we also learned about the difference between the animated versus the unanimated. That's it for today. Thank you so much for watching. I hope this video was helpful to you. If you liked it and want to learn more Finnish, please don't forget to subscribe to this channel. Have a nice day and see you next time.